Organized Grind with Orikal Uno. Recorded live at Graph Fruit Studios in South Minneapolis.
What's up, world? This is Orikal Uno checking in with Organized Grind, the podcast. This is episode 15. Doing this one solo again. Rest in peace to Sun Chi. A producer, poet, artist, overall good dude from the Twin Cities. This one's really rough. This is now the second time that I've had to say rest in power to somebody from the hip-hop community. Nipsey was tough, but this one hits closer to home. I actually knew Sun Chi. We talked a lot. We talked a lot about hip-hop. We talked a lot about making beats. We talked a lot about life. We had a lot of mutual acquaintances outside of hip-hop. Word came in yesterday morning when I was sitting at my desk at work, and the word slowly started to leak out across social media, and at first it seemed unconfirmed, but when T-La put up his post about it being official, it was really hard. I couldn't believe it at first. It was just kind of stunning. And then a person from the HR department at my job stopped by my desk, and she asked how my day was going. And the first thing that I told her was, I just heard that my friend passed away, and I lost my shit. Just overwhelmed with sadness. Started crying at my desk, had to rush out to my car, and I just fucking broke down in tears. I called my friend Neil from True Heads Clothing. He was the only one that I called and talked to, because I could sense the panic and urgency within him as well. And we kind of shed tears together, and I just let him know that, if he needs a vent, that I'm here. And that goes to anybody within the Twin Cities hip-hop community that was close with Sun Chi. If you knew him, you know what kind of spirit and energy that he had. He was just a really, really good guy. He was very supportive. Even if he didn't have much at the time, he would give it all up just to help you. He was that kind of guy. I would like to do an entire episode dedicated to his memory. This is not going to be that episode. I want to get in touch with people that knew him closer than I did, and I would like a chance for anybody in the Twin Cities hip-hop community that knew Sun Chi on a personal level to come on my podcast and tell stories about him. He was a great guy, a very talented producer. He made some very dope beats. And outside of the beats, he was good with his words too. He was nice. He was the personification of hip hop. And I'm really gonna miss him. I'll never forget when we did the show, when Grandmaster Kaz came to the Nomad. I was going through ketoacidosis with my diabetes, and that was the night that I couldn't even complete the 1+1 set. I had to cut it short because I was vomiting profusely in the Nomad bathroom because my blood sugars were so high that my body was turning into acid for the most part. And so I was in the bathroom throwing up the entire night. And I remember Sun Chi being there and just supporting me. And there's a picture from that night that is out there, and it's just crazy because I felt like I was on the verge of leaving this earth that night as well, and he was there to uplift me and uplift my spirits, and he got me through that night. I wound up being in the hospital for 2 to 3 days. My esophagus was burned and my lips were burned. But it's just, the real sad part about the whole shit is that it was maybe a week ago, if not a little longer, when I had learned that Sun Chi was being checked out for his lungs. And I remember him saying, just don't fucking feel bad for me. Like, I'm gonna make it through this shit. I don't want pity. I don't want none of that. Don't feel bad for me. I'm gonna make it through. This is just some bullshit that I'm going through, but don't you dare feel bad for what I'm going through. And the next week he's gone. So, the moment of silence for Sun Chi. I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna end today's podcast with the single from the Son-in-Law project, Shades On. But like I said, this episode is not gonna be the Sun Chi episode. I would like to take the time to dedicate a full episode for him, but I'm gonna need the help of the community to really tell his story properly. So if you knew Sun Chi, if you worked with Sun Chi, even if you're not involved in hip-hop and you knew him personally and you have a good story to tell about him or anything, I invite you on my platform. I'm in South Minneapolis off of Lake Street. Let me know. Or if you have any music that you guys did together or anything that you feel that I should share, I really want to make sure that I do his episode proper. So please reach out to me. If you have my contact information or if you're a friend of mine on social media, hit my inbox, or else you can email organizedgrindpodcast.com, organizedgrindpodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to go ahead and go into the first commercial break right off the bat. Earlier this week, I had a pretty crazy experience with a dream. And the more that I've been approaching people about the subject, the more that it really feels like it was a case of astral projecting. So this is what the episode is going to be about, is astral projecting and my experiences and what I've learned about the whole topic. So stay tuned. This is Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. Rest in peace, Sun Chi. Rest in power. Rest in paradise. I already miss you, man.
Yo. Representing the Midwest, this is Truth Maze. Yes, y'all. Check out the new EP. It's entitled The Holy Bible. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music and elsewhere. Red Pill Music, baby. You see, with my words I can heal or kill. Talk fuck shit or truly keep it real. I can grab up a burner and flame my brother, or he and I can train so we elevate each other. I could talk about pussy all day and all night and not admit I'm toxic and don't treat women right. I could tell everybody how to pop a new pill, or tell the next generation the matrix is real. Cause what I know is I hold the power at will. Still sharp and still, goddamn it, it's ill. For mentally the blade I hold, it takes skill, specially designed so I can kill Bill. shit in me I need to reveal. That's what a God does with the ability to build. My soul is my rock, my spirit's my shield. My soul is my rock, my spirit's my shield.
Yes, y'all. This is Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. So, I think it was Monday night, Tuesday morning. I had a very intense experience. Now, I've been reaching out to people, and the more people that I reach out to, the more that they agree that this sounds like a case of astral projection. So I'm going to describe the experience that I had in as much depth as I can, and then I am going to do a second segment just about the different descriptions of astral projection all across the world in the different historical contexts. So this was a dream. I was sleeping. I'm going to try my hardest to describe it. So, I think I was supposed to be playing some type of music festival somewhere way in the forest. I'm not sure if it was in northern Minnesota or somewhere else, but it felt like it was somewhere up north in Minnesota, somewhere within the forest. But all of a sudden, we were all back at some cabin, and it was nighttime. But it wasn't really dark out. It was night, but the sky was like lit up. It was bright. Everything outside was lit up. Everybody was at like a bench or something like that. And I decided to start walking into the forest, leaving the people behind that were kind of hanging out at the bench and talking and just having a good time. So I decided to start walking into the forest. I looked up into the sky, and there were multiple planets. I distinctly remember a planet that was very bright, and it had tiger stripes. And the next day after I woke up from this experience, and I was just shook by it all, I was researching planets, and it definitely looked like Jupiter. But there were multiple planets in the sky, and they were all illuminated. Some of them were very close to each other in proximity. Some of them were revolving super fast, like you could see their surfaces, and it was almost like each planet had its own kind of moon that was lighting it, which is how you could see the surfaces of these planets. And like the ones that were spinning fast, like it was just crazy. Like you could really see the detail. I didn't have my glasses on. I wear glasses, and without my glasses, my eyesight is very poor. It's hazy, it's blurry, and I am a type 1 diabetic, so I can only imagine what kind of damage the blood vessels in my eyes are going through the older that I age. But I can definitely tell that my vision is getting worse. But in this experience, I had no glasses on, but I could see clearly and vivid. In the fields, I was surrounded by these mushrooms, the hugest mushrooms I've ever seen. But they were all different sizes and shapes of mushrooms, but they were like glowing, illuminated. They were red in color. I didn't touch them. I didn't eat one, but I remember this feeling of like, if I'm hungry, or if I go hungry, at least there's food provided. It was just strange. I felt a sense of total peace and extreme panic all at the same time. Like I felt completely tranquil, but I was freaking out. I felt around in my pockets. I was wearing jeans, and I was clothed, and I found a cell phone, and the battery was at 40%. So I tried calling my mom with the cell phone. She answered, and I remember there was an ohm tone going on as well. If you're not familiar with what an ohm tone is, I suggest you YouTube it. But it's kind of like a ringing in your ears, if you will. But it's a little more peaceful than like a sharp ringing. It's like a mellow ringing. But I remember talking to my mom, and she was asking me how the concert went. You know, she sounded enthusiastic, like, how was the show? And I was trying to describe to her where I was and what I was seeing and just how strange this place was that I was in. She sounded worried, you know, like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of drugs did you take, kind of stuff. But I was trying to tell her about all of the different planets that I was seeing, and like how some of them were spinning fast, and the different moons. And she said, "Oh no!" And then the phone went dead. I woke up back here in bed in my apartment, but instantly I fell back asleep, and I was right back in the same spot that I was, in the same exact field, the same place, the planets and the mushrooms and the glowing grass. There were trails, and I could see like cars or something in the distance, but I felt alone. Like, I just felt lonely, and I was surrounded by these planets and these moons. I finally started to panic completely once I felt that sense of loneliness, and I woke up. But when I woke up, it wasn't like a regular wake up, like an alarm clock went off. It was a sense of regaining consciousness slowly, like from limb to limb. Like, it didn't feel like just waking up and now I'm up. It was like my body was starting to learn how to function again normally. I'll never forget it. It was like I was in another universe. And I just remember feeling like there's something larger to this existence. I remember feeling like I was let in on a secret of the galaxy, and that I remember being so thankful that I had a platform that I could tell people about this experience, and that there's more to this life and more to this world. It was just crazy. Another weird thing about the whole experience is that the moment that I finally did come to and open my eyes and I was awake, my alarm clock read 4:44. So it was 4:44 in the morning. My alarm doesn't go off until 6. But I was up. I was trying to fall back asleep so I could get more sleep, but I just remember this overwhelming sense of enlightenment, as if I had seen something I wasn't supposed to. I feel like I peeked behind the curtain of the universe. So the more that I read about astral travel, it seems like it's the type of experience that's willing. So it's like people try to achieve this, but I was just simply sleeping, dreaming. I didn't mean to do this at all. But yeah, it just felt like I was let in on a secret of the universe. I would describe it as spiritual, but there was no interaction with gods or anything like that. It was like seeing, I don't know, like seeing the fabric of existence. It was very vivid and real feeling. And I mean, I've described it too. It's almost like I was in God's playground, just like his sandbox, or God's sandbox, or the creator's sandbox of just creation. I don't know, it was trippy, but the entire day I just felt at extreme peace, and I remember waking up just feeling like whatever will be, and that's okay. And this was before I found out about Sun Chi. And, my mom is a firm believer in guardian angels and higher beings. And it just, with everything that's happened this week, and all of the loss that the community has felt, because Sun Chi he wasn't the only one to leave us this week. Other people within the community that I did not have the privilege of knowing have also left this plane. But with everything that happened, I don't know, it was just really, really powerful. I was reaching out to people, and they were kind of letting me know about astral travel and projection, and about some of the sensations that you can feel. So like some of the sensations include being flung, or like moving through space and time, or like you're flying at an unimaginable high rate of speed, like a roller coaster. Also that, there are 5 types of dreams that you can go through, including wish dreams, which is like fantasies coming to life within your dreams. Release dreams, which can also be known as nightmares, excuse my stutter, where your soul is just releasing things that you're not able to when you're awake and conscious. Prophetic dreams, stories of the future, past life dreams, and then the astral travel. But yeah, it was crazy. I'll never forget the experience. I made sure that right when I woke up, I wrote everything down, because I didn't want to forget that feeling or the environment that I was in. It was definitely something of another world. So that was my experience. Some of the people that follow me might have read how I was feeling that day. And, if you could experience something like that, I would definitely, it was just nuts. It was crazy. But let's go ahead and go into the last commercial break, and then I will get into kind of the different viewpoints on astral travel and projection just throughout the world and history, and then we'll wrap this one up. So this is Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, world? This is Orikal Uno checking in to let you know that I just released a brand new EP entitled Speech Therapy. It's entirely self-produced, and you can now get it at orikaluno.com. That's ORIKALUNO.com. Thank you for listening. It's all unraveling, I feel it in my abdomen. About to take a swim in a bottle from the cabinet. Full throttle, hollowing the content of the glass I sip. Too much pain, yeah, the shit ain't even masking it. Okay, got a few loose things I need to tighten up. Do it in the dark before the sky tries to brighten up. Maneuver in the shadows, that's all I'm really used to. Most people always try to find a way to use it. Feeling for a drive, I'm in need to feel alive. 95 miles per hour on a 94 ride. Pissing off passerbyers that are forced to coincide with me. Middle finger up to the punk on the side of me. Rough around the edges, disrespecting the guest list. Use all my drink tickets and forget the set list. I've seen it all before, and you ain't impressive. I ain't shit either, yeah, I've learned that lesson. Had it go in the wind. Got my windows open, I ain't holding it in. I try to take it slow, but the motion's intense. It happened too fast, can't get over the bends. Let it go, let it go, let it go in the wind. Got my windows open, I ain't holding it in. I try to take it slow, but the motion's intense. It happened too fast, can't get over the bends. Let it go, let it go. My vision hazy, yeah, I know I'm living crazy though, drowning in the frequencies. Yeah. This is Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. So, got into my experiences with what I believe was astral projection. So this is some breakdowns of what astral projection is to different cultures around the world. Astral projection or astral travel is a term used in esotericism to describe a willful out-of-body experience that assumes the existence of a soul or consciousness called an astral body that is separate from the physical body and capable of traveling outside it throughout the universe. The idea of astral travel is ancient and occurs in multiple cultures. It is sometimes reported in association with dreams and forms of meditation. Some individuals have reported perceptions similar to descriptions of astral projection that were induced through various hallucinogenic and hypnotic means. There is no scientific evidence that there is a consciousness or soul which is separate from normal neural activity or that one can consciously leave the body and make observations. And astral projection has been characterized as a pseudoscience. In ancient Egypt, similar concepts of soul travel appear in various other religious traditions. For example, ancient Egyptian teachings present the soul as having the ability to hover outside the physical body via the Ka or subtle body. In China, there is a quote here. Actually, there's like a story here based off of Taoism and breathing meditations, drawing energy into a pearl that is then circulated. With the drum, as his pillow fell fast asleep, snoring and motionless. His primordial spirit, however, went straight into the banquet room and said, "My lords, here I am again." When he walked with the officials to take a look, there really was a Taoist sleeping on the ground and snoring like thunder. Yet inside, in the side room, there was another Taoist beating a Fisher drum and singing Taoist songs. The officials all said, although there are two different people, their faces and clothes are exactly alike. Clearly, he is a divine immortal who can divide his body and appear in several places at once. At that moment, the Taoist in the side room came walking out, and the Taoist sleeping on the ground woke up. The two merged into one. In Buddhism, the ability to do astral projection is one of many believed supernormal powers for those who reach fourth jhana, or fourth level of Buddhism. And they have a quote here from Buddha himself. With his mind thus concentrated, purified, and bright, unblemished, free from defects, pliant, malleable, steady, and attained to imperturbability, he directs and inclines it to creating a mind-made body. From this body he creates another body, endowed with form, made of the mind, complete in all its parts, not inferior in its faculties. Just as if a man were to draw a reed from its sheath, the thought would occur to him, this is the sheath, this is the reed. The sheath is one thing, the reed another, but the reed has been drawn out from the sheath. In Hinduism, there are similar ideas found in ancient Hindu scriptures. Modern Indians who have vouched for astral projection have witnessed a Swami doing a miracle through a possible astral projection. In Japan, it's a manifestation of the soul of a living person separately from their body. Traditionally, if someone holds a sufficient grudge against another person, it is believed that a part or the whole of their soul can temporarily leave their body and appear before the target of their hate in order to curse or otherwise harm them, similar to an evil eye. Souls are also believed to leave a living body when the body is extremely sick or comatose. In the Amazon, it's believed to be able to perform a soul flight that can serve several functions such as healing, flying to the sky to consult cosmological beings, the moon or the brother of the moon, to get a name for a newborn baby, flying to a cave to ask the father for abundance of game, or flying deep down in a river to get the help of other beings. So yeah, that's just a little bit of the history and just some of the different perceptions of different cultures when it comes to astral projection. Like I said, this experience was crazy. It was intense for me. And as of today, I am on day number 20 of complete sobriety, which means no alcohol, no marijuana, no tobacco products. And from what I gather, to be able to astral project, you have to have a clear mind and consciousness in order for it to happen for you. And that's why within the Buddhism religion and believings and monks and people like that with a purified mind, they're able to achieve this level of astral projection. But yeah, that's about all I got on it. Shared my experiences with you, shared what I've learned with you. If you have any sort of experience with astral projection, or if you are able to further expand upon this topic, I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to email organizedgrindpodcast@gmail.com with your stories and experiences, or leave a comment on the SoundCloud or on this YouTube, however you're experiencing this podcast. Please reach out, leave a comment, leave a like. Just let me know if you're rocking with astral projection as well. But yeah, that's about all I got for this episode. It's a little heavy, it's getting into some stuff. But I just felt that it was very important for me to share this with you. Like I said, I will never forget the experience and just the feeling of feeling like I was let in on some sort of secret behind the universe. I'm happy that I do have this platform that I can share it with you. So once again, rest in peace to my guy Sun Chi. I'm going to end this episode of the podcast. So this has been episode 15 of Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. This is a song from Son-in-Law. So this was Sun Chi on production with Tila Sean of Cherry Sky on the raps. This song is called Shades On. I got to see these guys rock at the Nomad together, opening up for Grandmaster Kaz. I got to see them rock at a couple of other shows around town. But once again, this is Son-in-Law, Shades On. You've been listening to Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. Rest in power, Sun Chi. As always, peace and love.
When the sun is shining and the skies above are blue,
they tried to blind me with their bullshit, I don't squint. Gaze at the sun without my shades on. Major league bullshit. They tried to blind me with their bullshit, I don't squint. Nah. Gaze at the sun without my shades on.
They say when the sun's out, them guns out, and that goes for the north side and them guns south. Hitting on a blunt till I cough a lung out. Riding by Phelps where the OGs hung out. I was young then, but I had some clout. Seeing what go on inside a drug house. A lot of fiends straight buying they crack. I was just a teen, they tried to keep me blind to the fact blind to the fact I was watching that garbage. Seeing crackheads looking for crack on the carpet. They want that hard shit, 20 deep in an apartment. Had to watch my back for the kids who start shit. Starter coats, yeah, them Raiders and them Dodger coats. For all the names, they aiming at your artichoke. It's kinda hard to cope. It's like when doves cry when your mother's never satisfied in your father's bowl. So taking material things is all you know. Yeah, you looking for them rings and order gold. It's just you and your mans, you're like hauling notes. Going out to the mall when y'all know you're broke. Just to take something you can call your own until you go to jail. Now you all alone. It's a vicious cycle when your kids just like you. Do you tell them to get the Bible or get the rifle? What?
They tried to blind me with that bullshit, I don't squint.
Nah,
Gaze at the sun, without my shades on.
Major league bullshit.
They tried to blind me with that bullshit, I don't squint.
nah,
Gaze at the sun, without my shades on.
My mans was yelling peace squad out the back of a police squad. I holla at you when you released out the beast dog. I seen it all out in these streets, y'all, where you could get shot and one like street ball. Remember we was kids with a pack of gum, but nowadays, man, these kids, yeah, they packing guns, acting grown, cause they ain't acting young, and they acting rich but don't have the lack of funds. My 20/20 vision is immaculate, with no shades on, I'm gazing at the sun, but it still can't blind my sight. That's why I give you visuals in each rhyme I write. I'm getting blazed, yeah, I'm high as a kite. See a reef ahead, we need unity like Latifah said. But crime in the community can leave you dead. It's hard to swallow, never follow, cause real leaders led. Like Martin, walking to the promised land, holding his mama's hand. Always told the truth, he was an honest man. Only time you're supposed to lie is when you wanna stand. And you're about to get indicted by a grand jury, blind fury, and they wanna throw the book at you. And they hate you more every time they look at you. Word, then I don't see why not my third. I like Cyclops shine without the eye drops. Ha, what?
They tried to blind me with that bullshit, I don't squint.
Nah.
Gaze at the sun, without my shades on.
Major league bullshit.
They tried to blind me with that bullshit, I don't squint. Gaze at the sun, without my shades on.
On a bright night, one can observe some big stars shining more brightly than all the other stars in the clear sky.